Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly commodities update video. This is where we do weekly analysis on natural gas, US dollar, gold, oil, and silver. And we'll be looking at their support and resistance levels as well as the most likely scenario where price might head to for the next week. And if you guys are looking for the stock market update video, I did that yesterday where I did the Qs, S&P 500, as well as the MAX 7s. Make sure to check that out. And let's get started with natural gas. So right now we're looking at pretty much NatGas on the daily time frame. Make sure to click this BADJ right here, just for contracts, so you don't get gaps. See these gaps, right? Click this, and it's gone. All right, so currently we're looking at pretty much a descending triangle. So this is resistance, 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 resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rejections so far, and our support continues to hold pretty much. A descending triangle just means that the lows are all the same, um, and the highs just keep getting lower and lower and lower. So it's kind of like a triangle that descends. So at the moment, bulls aren't going anywhere. We can just say simple statement, right? If bulls can't break this downtrending line, they're really not really going anywhere, right? So big move off the lows, right? Big move off the support. This descending triangle low, all the same, right? Around this $3, 3.1, $3.3 to 3.1 range. So 10% bounce, but no follow through at this moment. So, but that being said, we do have a big enough space now where bulls can try to confirm their daily uptrend back, just like they did over here, right? They move up, higher low, higher high, daily uptrend come from here, and we got some follow through, right? After that daily uptrend is confirmed, we got about solid 11% follow through. So if we can get a daily uptrend breaking this Wednesday's high, we're pretty much going to be right at that green line resistance. So if we can break that at the same time and confirm a daily uptrend, then we're going to look back up to this high again, this 3.8 to $4 range. But if we just come back up, hits here, rolls over again, we're going to be looking back down this $3 area again. It's pretty clear. Support and resistance battle between bulls and bears, where they're currently at. In terms of the longer term picture, monthly is still holding, but I want to see if the bulls can set a monthly high or low here, right? So we haven't confirmed monthly uptrend yet, since all the way back here in 2021 or whatever, for like 4 or 5 years ago. So if the bulls can confirm a daily monthly uptrend here, right? This is just an initial move, right? All stair steps. There's no higher lows. This is the first time they could potentially set the higher low, move up. So if bulls can hold that $3, ends up breaking out again here, maybe we'll get a longer term bottom, and this would be a monthly uptrend. Obviously, we got to break $5 for it to be a monthly uptrend. But for now, let's see if bulls can at least form some kind of a higher low in this area. If it does go lower, then we look for more of a tiny range, right? So we can measure the retracement size from the bottom to the top, right? So far is already in the golden pocket zone already. So if we do go lower than 65% of this entire move, then it's less likely that we can form a monthly uptrend, right? If we come all the way down here, we got to go all the way back up there for monthly uptrend. But for now, it's still on the table. Just not as likely at the moment. We need to break this downtrending line first. So if we do come back, let's say we come to the 70%, right, mark here, then we'll just look for a monthly tightening range. Maybe more something like this, right? That'll be the most likely scenario if we start pulling back even more. So that's a longer term picture, but for now, the shorter term, right, in the daily time frame, bare minimum for bulls for me, just break this downtrending line. Otherwise, bulls really aren't going to go anywhere if they don't break this line. All right, let's take a look at oil. If you guys want to learn more about techno analysis, check out the Patreon link, or feel free to support the channel. It's a free channel, and go there And if you like, share, and subscribe, they're always appreciated. Help the channel out. All right, let's take a look at oil. So oil broke out of this tiny range. This is the first resistance that I broke off from. Now we have a second one here. Pretty much this one. So let's see if we can come up and break it. And also another very clear one as well right here. So around this $63, right? We're talking about this. This is what pretty much an ascending triangle looks like. So just the opposite of natural gas. So you see natural gas was having lower highs. This is having higher lows, right? Each of the low is higher. And the top is all the same, right? So let's see if we can, either it continues to make higher lows, which currently is, right? It's holding every time, every low is higher than the prior low. And then we just wait for it to break out. Either it breaks this 68, 3.8, just call it 64, this little resistance zone. It'll be a bull break of the ascending triangle. You can see very clear, right? Prior supports, right? Now acting as resistance. Prior support right here on this $64 area, right? Prior support, bounce, 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 bounce. This whole structure, right? Now we broke down below it. Now this whole structure is acting as a resistance, right? Reject 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we do come back up here, it can break back about 64. Now we're back in here again. But for now, we're beneath it. So technically speaking, bears are winning, but bears need to make new lows, right? Need to crack these pivots, crack below these levels. Let's do this one. So even if we do break the green line, let's say it breaks right here, 58, it only counts as a bear break for me if it breaks this pivot. So it cracks here and then cracks that low, and then that ascending triangle is gone. Right? There's no more ascending triangles. Let's say if it cracks 58, breaks a little bit, and then boom, bam, pops here and still holds here. That's still valid, right? Ascending triangle, just as long as it's higher lows, then it's valid. But yeah, bulls really going nowhere. Completely sideways this week. They need to break the 64. All right, let's look at US dollar here. Weekly chart, still on the weekly downtrend. Right, this is a weekly downtrend, higher time frame. I was talking about this last week. We were saying bulls have a lot of room to form that higher low, but it looks like that 1 week just kind of gave it all. Let's see. Yeah, this whole week just red every day. Then we got more tariff news or something on Friday on the EUs, and then another big drop. So not a lot of room left for higher lows. We still have a little bit of room. So let's see if bulls can hold this red line, which is this prior 1, 2, 3 kind of megaphone looking pattern here for longer term. Yeah, ideally they hold it, and then it'll probably be more like a tiny range now, something like this for a little bit, and then see where the macro news, all that kind of stuff, decides sentiment, and maybe we'll come back up to test here. I think we are below our. Oh no, we're not. If we drop a little bit lower, 98, it's gonna be like this support needs to hold, because if it breaks here, man, that's like breaking a longer term support, right? Because there's nothing down here. This low was formed based off of this low, which is this high. So if we break that, yeah, we're just gonna probably come to 96. There's this little structure here, which is also the low of the structures, but this is going so far back that it's almost not very relevant. But then you could just form some kind of like a tiny range here. Sideways range, I mean. So yeah, as long as it holds above this 98 level, we're gonna be okay for the US dollar. But for now, let's see if we get any kind of bounces. Right, it's getting close. We just need one more leg down, and it's gonna break that low. So ideally, bulls would show up exactly on Tuesday because Monday's no trading, and we bounce from here, form potentially sideways range, and get that weekly move up. All right, let's take a look at gold and silver. Okay, so I think I talked about this one last week, saying that let's keep these two lines because they're likely going to act as support when we come out down to it, even though we already broke bull out of the pattern. Right, this is a rising wedge. We broke bull here, and look at it. Just that was last week. Yeah. Anyways, we bounced off of it, so that's good. Right, both of these confluences line were just pretty much right here, and now we're making back up to this all-time high structure. So there's a little bit of resistance, right? There's not a lot over here. I can see the volume here, something like this, getting close to it. It's not really perfect, right? But this could just gap up overnight on Sunday and we're gone, right? So yeah, that'll be good for the bulls. If we gap up overnight, come out here, there's really no volume left. You can see how on this volume profile here, this was the area of the resistance, right here, right? We had it, couldn't get over it one day, couldn't get over it Thursday and Wednesday. And then right when we got over it, this volume node area where all that resistance is, which is, all from here, then it was like a straight shot up kind of thing, right? Got over it, boom, now we're over here. So if we can get over pretty much right here, we're going to look back up closer to this 3389. And then we'll be testing this 3433, and then it's all-time highs. So let's see if they can do that. But for now, ended up being like a tiny range, right? Kind of like big move up, big move down, big move up. Maybe it'll go like this. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see when this tiny range breaks. It's getting close to the end of the pattern. So let's see how it goes. All right, let's take a look at silver. See any kind of relative strength here. Nice move up on Tuesday and Wednesday, but didn't follow through with gold on Friday. Yeah, so still looking okay, right? Because of this whole move up here was a weekly bull flag from the lows here, and it's holding its weekly bull flag. We broke out on Tuesday, but kind of lacking follow through here because on Friday, look, gold has a 2% move, and silver is supposed to be higher beta, which is supposed to be move more than gold. Kind of like this, right, on Tuesday. So Tuesday, gold moved 1.5%, and silver moved 2.35. But looks like silver didn't catch up on Friday. So I wouldn't call it relative strength or weak at this moment, because it is holding its gains from this move up a lot better than gold, right? Just compare this move down. Like it was like what 20% move down, and for gold it was like 7. Right? You can see there's like a blip on the chart. This thing had to move up almost 20% to even come back. But for now, we are sitting right underneath all this resistance. So that's why it's kind of like weaker. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Tried here, didn't work. Another came back down, another rejection, another rejection, another rejection. Tried here, didn't work. So in the longer term, right, this is usually the top, this is the bottom, so it's kind of trading in a sideways range. It's a bit tough to play in this area at the moment. Very choppy. And we're just sitting right underneath resistance, right? This $34 resistance. So either gold, the only way for this to break that 34, gold needs to make the all-time highs, pretty much, right? So if gold breaks bull out of this tiny range and makes the all-time highs, then we have a chance this breaks 34 and come up to test around this at least 34 and a half. But if gold decides to roll over from this tiny range, breaks bear from this range, silver's going to come back down, test 31.8. All right, that is a got for you guys. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You guys made this far and learn anything, and I'll see you guys next week for more stock market updates and commodity updates. Have a great rest of you guys' weekend, and there's no trading tomorrow, so take care.